Hi guys, and thank you for coming back to part 2 of what I learned on my EM Leaders Day. I hope through these videos we can learn how to be better leaders as we go from junior doctors to medical to consultants. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Felisa. I am an emergency medicine doctor that's currently working in the United Kingdom. So today we're going to talk with regards to, this was such a big part of my EM Leadership Day, and it's with regards to the Myer-Briggs Personality Test. So basically what the Myer-Briggs Personality Test, it breaks you down into 16 personality types, and the 16 personalities is based on a combination of 4 sections. So I'm going to put up this really nice graph I found on Wikipedia of all places. And basically the first letter is you're either E or I. And E stands for extrovert, I stand for introvert. I think we're very familiar with this group. Is something that is thrown around a lot. Are you an extrovert? Are you introvert? And it's just based on, I like to think about it as where you get your energy from. People always think I'm very extroverted because if you meet me in a social setting, I could be chatting, I could be engaging, but I consider myself an introvert just because I feel like my energy comes from an internal source, if that makes sense. Like, I draw my energy, like I have a social battery that runs out, then I have to go and recharge. I don't feel energized by a social setting. I feel a bit depleted, and then I have to go and recharge for the next social setting, if that makes sense. It depends. You would be an extrovert if you describe yourself as talking, outgoing, or you're an introvert if you prefer a slower pace. You tend to think things through. You would rather observe, kind of like that wallflower. You don't like to be the center of attention, so that gives you your ear eye. And then the second one is how do you prefer to take in information, and you're either S or N. S is for sensing, N is for intuition. And for this one, S or N, basically sensing is like you're the big picture. You like to look at the global. You have a more generalized outlook, versus if you are intuition, you like fine details. You look at every minute detail that's there. Number 3, you're either a T or F. T stands for thinking, F stands for feeling, and it's how do you prefer to make decisions. Are you very logical, or is it based more on like personal values and how your actions affect others? J versus P would be the 4th category, and J is for judging, P is for perceiving. How do you prefer to live your outer life? Do you prefer everything to like be scheduled? Do you prefer a lot of order in your life? Versus perceiving, you're more spontaneous. You like to go with the flow. You don't like to plan things. You just like to get things done. And that's how you're either, and based on the combination of these letters, and there's 16 various outcomes you can get, it determines what your personality is. Anyway, so we went through various tests to try to figure out which combination of these 4 letters we were, and then based off of that we then had a discussion about what drives you with regards to your work. We spoke about how having the personality we have can impact on the work we do, and areas in which it benefits us and areas in which it hinders certain outcome. Like for example, I'm a sensing person, so I'm very big picture, versus I feel like in medicine you benefit from it's very detail oriented. You need to have more details, and I think this is one of the reasons like emergency medicine works for me. Like we solve the big problems, and then we hand over to specialty to solve the more detailed areas that's required for that patient's care. And then like judging and perceiving, I think I've really struggled in my training because I'm all about perception. I love spontaneity, and doing portfolio work and finishing on time calls for you to have a level of schedule that it's not innate to me. Like, I'm learning, and that's the thing, you can learn. We had one girl who shared that naturally she was on perceiving side, but since having children, it's changed her life, and now she's on the judging side. And it just goes to show how dynamic we are as human beings and how we grew. Anyways, if you've never done this test, I would highly recommend that you do this test and have a read of the different personalities, because like what stood out to me most, and taking it back to leadership, was the fact that one, for those of us who were thinking versus feeling, the feeling group depended heavily on being complimented at the end of a shift, you know, oh, good job, well done, thank you. And this is what boosted morale in these doctors, versus the thinking group expressed that it didn't matter whether or not you complimented them. Maybe they might have felt okay if you complimented them on something they did that was difficult, that they've never done before, but they didn't derive much from being complimented randomly. Versus for those of us who weren't complimented, it would play on us for a lot longer. Like, we'd feel really like, oh, I worked my hardest, and you know, I didn't even get to thank you. I didn't, no one saw my effort. And I mean, we're not doing things for our effort and to be recognized and to be singled out. It's just, I don't know if this makes sense, but it's just where you derive your motivation. And some people need to hear a thank you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Versus others, they can just get on with it. The thinker said, well, it's my job, I'm paid to do it, so yeah, I do it and I get on with it. And the interesting thing is, the majority of us in that room, we were feelers. So like, a lot of us had an F somewhere in our personality. In our combination, we had a lot of Fs. And that goes to show, when you're on the shop floor, and it's something I love to do, you need to appreciate those around you. I mean, the worst case scenario is that you have a thinker. It might not add anything to them, but at least you know that you have not taken anything away from a feeler. And I find I'm really intrigued by the individuals who are thinkers, because like, I remember asking one of the girls who identified as a thinker, like, okay, so like, as a leader, like, what can I do to make you feel appreciated? And I think it's something that she's probably never been asked. And she said, you know, share the load. Yeah, if someone shares the load, she would be grateful for that, and that would help her to feel satisfied. So I thought that was interesting. They weren't looking for praise. They weren't looking for a thank you. They were looking for more practical, you know, logistic stuff. That, okay, I'm dealing with XYZ, and if there's anything further, someone should come in and share that load. So I think it's just these are things that you should practice as a leader, looking to see what people are dealing with, and then how to balance everything for them. And it doesn't hurt to say thank you, to appreciate when someone goes above and beyond, because yes, we're all being paid, but I can tell you, not everyone goes above and beyond. So when someone does go above and beyond, you know, you recognize those efforts. You say thank you for your hard work today. It doesn't take anything, and it adds so much. People work better when they feel valued. Yeah, so that was a biggie for me. It was a big takeaway. If you've never done the Myer-Briggs Personality, and I recommend that you go on the website. I'll link it in the description down below. Do your Myer-Briggs Personality. Do it with those around you, just to see what type of people they are, and to understand the people around you. It just makes such a big difference in our relationship, in our work life. I think people who you interact with on a daily, you should know a bit about their personality. You should know what makes them feel valued. You should know what drives them, and then you should implement those methods with regards to improving morale. And yeah, it doesn't take much. It's just a matter of effort. Okay guys, I hope so. Let me, if you've ever done the Myer-Briggs Personality, let me know your personality type down below. If you've never done it and you don't believe in personalities, let me hear your thoughts. What is your way of motivating people on that you interact with, especially at work on the daily? And yeah, so basically that's it. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. Bye.